Hi, I'm Rick Anthony, and welcome to the Someone You Should Know podcast, the podcast that focuses on musicians, authors, and interesting people. We like to say we're making a difference one artist at a time. So sit back, have a cold one, and get ready to meet someone you should know. Today's guest keeps the golden age of doo wop alive and thriving. Beyond the rich harmonies and sharp suits, they provide a European twist captivating the hearts worldwide. Freddy Velas of the Freddy Velas and the Silvertones joins me from Tuscany this afternoon, and we're excited to have him. We're going to be talking about their journey from European clubs to American stages and how they're keeping the torch of doo-wop music ready for the next generation. Will you please welcome my guest, Freddy Velas? How are you, Freddy?
Hey, Rick. Pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your amazing podcast show.
Thank you, sir. I do appreciate that. Love doo-wop music. I'm in my mid-60s, so I listened to doo-wop when I was young and really and truly like that style of music. What sparked your interest in music? How old were you, and what was your first exposure to music?
Yeah, I'm almost 46, and we started along with my brother when we were kids, listening, younger than kids, actually, around 7, 8 years old, something more or less. We used to listen to some records that my father used to buy back in the days. He used to be a musician in the late 60s, along with his brothers, actually. So we've been listening, and then we took part in church choirs, and we used to do some gospel, very young, and he was very, very interested in the harmonizing and things like that. We started listening, the Everly Brothers, the Beach Boys, of course, with all these amazing harmonies. And then we back to the origins of the backing vocals and things like that. So it was amazing discovering the Italian-American doo-wop harmony schools. And it was amazing because I know there some American Italians, they used to put some Italian dialect into some songs to do the backing vocals. And it's so funny because we used to do understand, and we still do, what was about. There were the Tu Madiri, why the kids were up, Tu Madiri, it means you got to tell me. But it's an Italian Sicilian dialect, Tu Madiri. And it's funny because, they used to put some phonetic tricks to keep the heritage alive, and it's all about serenades, true feelings, and that's also the Italian old school.
I like that, and that kind of answered the next question. I was going to say, how did your Italian-American inspiration shape the band's sound? You're already mentioning that there was Italian-American doo-wop already going on. Who are some of the Italian doo-wop bands?
There are actually several. I can start with Dion DiMucci and the Belmonts.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Dion the Belmonts. Absolutely.
Yeah, Frankie Castelluccio, Frankie Valli. Castelluccio was too long.
I love it. And I used to love Frankie Valli's music.
Castelluccio, it's from Sicily, my land, actually. It was amazing. And they used to really keep this amazing sound with this very unique falsetto, actually. But there are so many. Nino and the Ebb types. Mm-hmm. Vito Piccone, the Elegants, and so on. Danny and the Juniors two of them were Italians. Frank Maffei, Joseph Terranova, Joe Terry. So Terranova, Terry. Italian, we have a very long words and expressions. So they just took the shortcut to make people understand, and it was a kind of catchy names, of course. Even my name is Fabrizio because it's too long. Then it doesn't really exist in English, so I decided Freddy. It's even better than Frankie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
We're actually getting a music lesson this morning here. It's a lesson in music history. A lot of the bands that I'm very familiar with. Now let's talk about each of the members of your Silvertone band. Let's talk about who's in your band and what their particular role is within the band.
Of course. First, I got to talk about my brother, Stefano. He is the backing vocals. He does the first tenor and falsetto, and he plays the drums because we are also musicians. And we used to start it all together, and it was amazing to start it back in early 2000 in UK. We used to do busking and playing a cappella songs and things like that. And yeah, it's my right arm, and he's a very sensitive musician. We used to, sing along, and also writing some very cool songs, original songs that we put on our CDs.
Okay.
Some, when we have a chance, of course. And then there is Adriano, we call him Sonny because he's too long as well, Adriano. So, yeah, he does a first tenor, and he plays the double bass and the bass guitar. Mm-hmm. And we used to have for a while Vic on a saxophone, but now we have a new guy which is called Ludovico. He's got a very deep voice range. Mm-hmm. He's got a very deep bass. He really nailed the Italian-American old school style and sound, vocally talking. And he plays the tenor saxophone. So, yeah, we are the four of us. We used to be always getting together and having fun. It starts like, to just singing around, and it's amazing when we get together on stage.
Awesome. I love hearing that. That's great. And your particular role, of course, you're the front man of the band. You're the lead. And what instrument do you play?
I play the guitar, and I'm the lead singer. Yeah, awesome. I used to sing since I was very young. Along with my brother. So it's amazing, and I can really find myself in an Italian American Doo Wop school, and also African American Doo Wop school, because we have several songs from. Some groups like the Marcells and the Teenagers, the Charts, mm-hmm. So the Sharps. Yeah, there's so many amazing groups. Yeah, we love both schools anyway. So that's all about Doo Wop.
Awesome, very good. It's music time here. Let's go ahead and feature a song from the Silvertones, from Freddy Velas and the Silvertones. Delivery Girl. What's the backstory on Delivery Girl?
It's a part of this album called Doo Wop Girls. I want to dedicate to some special girls, more or less, some songs. And yeah, once happened that we had a pizza. We called the delivery service, and there was this very nice and beautiful delivery girl, actually. And it sounds to me very 50s, very old school. That you get what's going on, You should be in a movie, not delivering pizza. And and it was this is all about. We really wanted to reproduce some kind of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons sound, like an homage to them with these songs. Yeah.
All right, very good. Let's feature that song right now. Here's Delivery Girl from my guest Freddy Velas and the Silvertones right now on the Someone You Should Know podcast.
Who was it last night knocking on my door? Who could guess such a beauty in this world? You're my delivery girl, who brought me such a beautiful smile, delivering me pizza in the middle of the night. You're my delivery girl. You're my delivery girl. Let me show you the way to my heart. It seems to me that we met from the very start. You're my delivery delivery girl. Please me, give me just one little chance, so we can maybe build a sweet romance. You're my delivery girl. Let's share the streets out together, baby. Just don't be shy and don't be maybe. You're mine. You're my delivery girl. You're my delivery girl, who brought me such a beautiful smile. Deliver me beats in the middle of the night. You're my delivery
That's Delivery Girl from today's podcast guest, Freddy Velas of Freddy Velas and the Silvertones. We've got more music and conversations on the way here, but first I want to say, hey, thanks for hanging out with us here on the Someone You Should Know podcast show. I want to give a quick shout out to Buzzsprout. Now, they're the service that provides our wonderful show to all the different streaming platforms like Apple Podcasts and Good Pods and Deezer and Spotify and Amazon Music and Podcast Addict. There's like 17 of them. So you're definitely bound to find us. All you have to do is look for Someone You Should Know podcast. And also want to thank Buzzsprout and you for getting us into 2,900 cities in 108 countries and territories around the world. That just blows my mind. High fives to Hyattsville, Maryland, Jackson, New Jersey, Ashburn, Virginia, and Bridgenorth, Ontario, Canada, all being a part of today's journey right here on the Someone You Should Know podcast. Heard wherever quality streaming audio is available. We're speaking with Freddy Velas of Freddy and the Silvertones. Now, we have listeners of all different backgrounds and all different ages, Freddy. To someone who is not familiar with the Doo Wop sound, which was prominent in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, how would you describe the Doo Wop sound?
It's angel singing to me.
All right.
It's very elegant stuff. It's so beautiful, and I think it's the best kind of music, well, in my opinion, of course, of all time, because it really makes you remind when the world was a better place, there were so much hope after the Second World War, and people were starting to see a bright side of life again, and so with all the dreams, with all the these wishes and nice romance, very romantic atmosphere, and it was so amazing listening to all these amazing groups and lead singers back in the days doing their job to make people just dream for a while, just having just a dream for just a few seconds, few minutes listening to these amazing songs.
Awesome. Now, a question regarding sound. A good portion of it is done a cappella, as far as the Doo Wop sound's done via a cappella. Would you say that's a good percentage or a low percentage? What percentage would you say of the songs are done a cappella?
Well, I've been actually in New Jersey, in Jersey Shore, exactly back in 2018. For a while, and I've been doing a lot of jam session, and mostly it was all about a cappella. I mean, and it was amazing doing things in Brooklyn and New Jersey, Keyport, and Manhattan, and so many other places in the New York States area, and especially New Jersey. We've been doing also in Pittsburgh, actually. So Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. And it's so beautiful to see the different sound. I mean, the Italian American, the African American sound, it was so beautiful. Getting together in all these angels singing, and you can tell how good is this. And when you do a cappella, you really you sing your heart away, and everything standing still in that moment, and all the guys, the backing vocals, the lead singer, they're getting into this, the falsetto guy, the bass guy. It's like a very good recipe with perfect ingredients.
Oh, I love that. That's
Yeah.
a perfect recipe with great ingredients there. Now, the next song we're going to feature is "Oh Rosemary," which is very, very special to you because you were the only European act featured on the PBS My Music Doo Wop Next Generation, and you got a chance to perform
Yes.
in Asbury Park. You got to tell us about this magic moment, okay?
Yes, of course, of course. Rosemary was the chosen one. Okay, so Tony Passalacqua from the Fascinators was listening different kind of takes, and videos and things like that, along with the T.J. Lubinsky productions, and so they say like you nail it, and Italians doo wop, it's again one of the best recipe of all time, and we were blessed to be chosen, and so for these songs we had this chance to be there, and it's the best experience I ever had along with my guys in our life. I mean, it was something, and the original legends that we met up over there were so humble. They used to treat us, and the new, of course, legacy of doo uppers, like we were all together and we were one of them. There were so many humble legends, people over 80 years old, and still doing. I cannot even remember every single group that we met over there. We used to do back in Volcas and things during at the Hasbury Park in New Jersey, at the Paramount Theater backstage. We used to have a lunch and dinner and getting together and singing, and we used to listen to some real stories from these amazing legends. This is priceless, my friend. Really, I mean, we've been immersed in a fantastic world. I cannot even explain in words.
Awesome, very good. Let's feature the song. This is "Oh Rosemary" right now on the Someone You Should Know podcast.
Oh, Rosemary, please won't you try to give your love to me to pass me by. Oh, Rosemary, I've waited so long and faithfully. Don't say he's wrong. Oh, Rosemary, I've made it loud. No other love could be. I prove it now. Oh, Rosemary, I never lie to you eternally. My heart is high. Oh, Rosemary, for all my pleas, there's been no answer from a high said please. And when you do, my life depends. And with your answer, love starts, so ends. Rosemary, I love you. Rosemary, 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 oh Rosemary, please won't you try to give your love to me, to pass me by. Oh Rosemary, I waited so long and faithfully. Don't say he's wrong. Oh Rosemary, I made it loud. No other love could be. I proved it now. Oh oh oh. Ah ah ah. Oh oh oh. Ah ah.
That's "Oh Rosemary" from Freddy Velas and the Silvertones. Freddie's my guest this time on the Someone You Should Know podcast. Freddie, how do European audiences compare to American ones?
I gotta say that there are so many different kind of generations, mostly in Europe, because there is a lot of rock and roll and rockabilly. Few chances to play also doo wop. We are less than rockabillys, of course, Also because I think Doo Wop, it's very difficult kind of music. You gotta feel deep in your soul, and you gotta have a very a kind of sound that really matches with this kind of music. So it's not rockabilis. I think it can be handled by so many different singers, but it is different, just different. But mostly there are different kind of generations. That's so beautiful. My favorite rocking scene is in Sweden, where our label is landed, and it's called Vincent Records, run by a friend of mine, Ulf Torstensson, which is like a brother to me. And people are very humble. They really live into a rock and roll lifestyle. It's not just a festival when you get dressed like a Elvis, like a Marilyn Monroe. You have a fun, you have a party, and then you just come back to the usual life, dressing like a nowadays,
All right.
No. People really do believe it, because they have also, I think, over 500,000 cars, American cars, original from the 30s till the 70s. Authentic and customs and hot roads. It's so beautiful. So there is a market that goes around to it. American audience, they are mostly people, they are the teenagers, the original teenagers from the 50s and early 60s. They still go to the show. I saw some youngsters, but not too many like in Europe. But it's also beautiful to see that there are people that still wanna support the Doo Wop music. Even if mostly are people over 70. But it is so beautiful. They still have young emotions. This is all about.
Awesome. Very good. Love to hear that. Freddie, you were just saying just a little while ago about the highest highs of being a part of that PBS special, being the only European act. That had to be a high watermark. Now, this next feature is called Tales from the Road. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole thing. We get a chance to kind of laugh a little bit. I know it probably wasn't funny at the time, but we get a chance to kind of look at one of the highlights and one of the lowlights. In this case here, one of the lowlights. It's kind of like those infamous road stories where things didn't go quite as planned. What might be the Freddy Velas and the Silvertones Tales from the Road?
Well, I think that once we made all our shows, but once there was a very stressy one in Cyprus back in 2000, I think it was 2015, something more or less, November. And we arrived there, and we took like 4 or 5 flights to fly from Sicily to Greek. And I say, like, what? It was unbelievable. From the Mediterranean, you got to go up to Rome and then coming back to the Mediterranean. I mean, that was nuts. But anyway, we got to jump on stage, doing our show, and then around 3:00 in the morning, there was our flight back. So that was there was a real rock and roll, man. I mean, I didn't even realize what was going on. But then we just fell asleep like babies. That was a real rock and roll on the road.
There you go.
We made it. We made it anyway. The show, and pretty good. But we didn't stop a sec. That was very cool. I mean,
very good, very good. Thanks for sharing that. Final song I'm going to feature is called Hushabye. What's the backstory on Hushabye?
Well, yeah, we've been back in the Regional Mystics back in 2016 in Italy. My great friend Phil Krakolici is the original lead singer of Hushabye. We always talk together along with Rocky Marcigano, which is the falsetto of the last legacy of the Mystics, with, of course, Phil Krakolici, lead singer. And we always talk, like family. And so we want to dedicate something special. And also Al Contrera. Al Contrera, we never met with Al, but he gave me his book about the Mystic story, Hushabye, with his autographs. And these guys are like family. There's so much respect, and they're still rock and roll all together. and that's so beautiful. And so we really wanted, along with my guys, to dedicate something special to Phil and Al Contrara.
Awesome. Very good. Thanks for sharing that. That's the song that's going to wrap up this episode of the Someone You Should Know podcast. Freddie, it's been a real treat to talk to you across the miles, all the way from Chicago to Tuscany. And I really want to thank you so much for being a guest this time. We wish great success for the Silvertones in 2025. And I just want to say thanks again for being on the Someone You Should Know podcast.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much. And catch you soon.
Hi, this is Rick Anthony, thanking you again for listening to this episode of Someone You Should Know. Now, if you're an aspiring musician or an established musician that's looking for a little exposure, I invite you to drop us a line at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast@gmail.com. That's someoneyoushouldknowpodcast@gmail.com. Also, I invite you to tell a friend about the Someone You Should Know podcast. I thank you for tuning in this time, and I invite you to check us out next time on the Someone You Should Know podcast, because you never know who's going to show up. Until next time, remember, God loves you, and so do I.